we didn't count on you winning because it was Ramon, it was Urs, it was like Breon, it was like, and then
Mhm.
all of a sudden, when you start comparing, I say, wait a second, and by the end of the prejudging, we were both in agreement that you won the show.
Justin, what happened to the old Justin? All of a sudden, there was Justin. All of a sudden, Justin disappeared. It was almost
Oh,
like you were just gone. And the
no.
next thing I hear about Justin is Justin's coach. He's coaching people. How you doing, champ?
Doing very well. Thank you very
I just
much.
praised you just a little bit. I just praised you by predicting that we will see and Wesley at least in the same condition that he is as you were 2 years ago, but I think you're going to be a little bit bigger.
Well, that's pretty accurate, I think, Dennis.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just going off of what I see what you post. So it looks to me like you're coming in bigger and the conditions will probably be the same. So if this is what you bring into the Arnold, where do you see yourself?
To be honest, if I let's just say, if I brought the package last year that I have right now, I think it would not have been a top two between Logan and Mike. I
Mhm.
think it would be either me and Mike or that top three. Um, you know, I did promise myself I would not go into the show thinking I'm going to win. As when I won the Arnold Classic 24, I had no expectations at all. Kind of like an underdog position, and the top five was even already a happy place for me. But I have to be honest, I'm looking my absolute best right now. So it's let's just say everybody else has to really be on to um, to still be able, for example, for Mike to defend his title.
So Leslie, when you won the Arnold Classic, your weight and height limit, were you close to the limit?
No, I when I won the Arnold, I was, let's say, I was allowed to weigh 249, and I think I was like 246, wearing like this, all of this still, and having breakfast. So it was still quite a lot of pounds to go, which I can now say I have gained. So there's going to be a difference there for sure.
So you're gonna just crack in like
So you still have to make weight?
on a dot.
Yeah. I mean, no, I think I already weighed a few times below the weight limit already, but
Mhm.
it's a lot of pounds higher than at the Arnold Classic 24, and obviously 25 because I was my lightest ever in a pro show. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I already cracked the weight limit already below it. But every time that happens, we feed up quite aggressively because the moment I get below or close to the weight limit, I notice, and my coach noticed that the fullness just disappears quite quickly. And that's exactly what we want to prevent. As you mentioned, the condition is already there. So I
Mhm.
should not be in this mindset like always, oh, I can be a little drier or I can be a bit more sharp. That's not what's that's not a trademark of the Dutch oak. Of course, you can always be more conditioned, but we have to bring that fullness this time and the proper proportions, which the only possible way to do so is by refilling the tank before it gets too empty. Bodybuilding, and especially classic physique, yes, you should be conditioned, but it's not about getting as shredded as you possibly can just for the sake of being shredded. It has to be a complete work of art that is just logical and that makes sense between the dryness you have and the fullness you have. And that's what we're going to bring.
I see you giving like kind of blurry sneak peeks of your quads. What is that for?
Because a lot of every time I post an update of my upper body or in general, and I don't show the legs, half of the comments are like, "Oh, he's not showing his legs," or it's like the SpongeBob SquarePants meme, like with the super skinny legs. And I know what I'm bringing, but I'm not like I have two children. Whenever my children, the harder they whine for something, the less chance they have of getting it. I'm a father. I know exactly how it works. So the more people who keep asking to show the legs, the more I'm inclined not to do so. So I'm kind of trolling a little bit with those pictures and kind of giving a sneak peek a little bit so people can guess for themselves. But the moment the legs matter the most will be on stage next to a Mike Sommerfeld. And we're going to see exactly the difference there's going to be between this show and pretty much any other show I've ever done.
So Leslie, your height and Arnold Schwarzenegger's height, are you guys like, right there, or you're taller?
I'm taller than him. I'm 6'3", and I think he was
6'1".
6'2", 6'1". Oh, okay, yeah. Because even of course he shrank a little bit in his old age, but when I'm on stage not wearing anything and he's wearing quite high-heeled shoes, he's still not as tall as me, for
I
example.
didn't know Arnold wore
So
high heels.
The
I mean, like the thicker platform shoes, you know?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The reason I'm asking this is Arnold at his best was like what, 242?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And you say you're 249 already, right? I mean, right there. You're gonna be squeezing
Yeah,
in.
I'm right now I'm about 255 at the moment. Because every time we get too close to the 250 mark, then we shoot right back up because the conditioning isn't suffering at all because of it.
Mm.
Jose, did you watch that Arnold Classic when he won? Dennis,
Yep.
yeah. Were you watching?
Oh, yeah.
Because Dennis and I were beyond impressed, really. And by the way,
That was true.
I see a lot of people calling us ass kissers. We bring the guests and then kiss their ass. So we are either haters or ass kissers. So I don't know which one you want to choose. You want us to kiss your ass or to hate you?
You,
No. On a serious note, we give a credit when credit is due. Dennis and I were in the first row. We didn't count on you winning because it was Ramon, it was Urs, it was like Breon, it was like, and then
Mhm.
all of a sudden, when you start comparing, I say, wait a second, and by the end of the prejudging, we were both in agreement that you won the show. Jose, did you see him winning?
I did. I did. Absolutely. That was a very cool show because, as you said, he didn't start in the middle. He didn't start as the winner, but they posed him, compared him. And as they went along, he held on and actually got better.
But that's the thing about Wesley. Wesley has to be super conditioned and somewhat full. Then he stands out because he's tall. He's bigger than everybody on that stage. If you judge him by body parts, he kills everybody size wise. And if he brings the condition was so crisp. It just made And the way he poses, he knows how to position himself to make his physique look better. And if he can bring that, I think I thought this was between Mike. Everybody's talking Mike. It's going to run through it. First of all, I think Mike's going to have to be 204. So he's not going to be the biggest guy.
He's not
Number
gonna
one.
go 2 inches. Come on.
There's no way he's going to grow 2 inches. And I think I don't even know if they're going to hide him in. I think they're going to use whatever they wear at the Olympia. From what I remember, from what I heard. Anyway, so if he has to be 204, he's not going to be overpowering. Then there's this guy from.
Doesn't he have to be like 199?
No, 204. He was 212 before at 5'9" and whatever. He was 212 was his limit, and he just barely made 212, and then he had to drop 8 pounds to make 204.
Oh, wow.
And that is why I think Ramon beat him, because he wasn't overpowering Ramon size-wise,
Right.
which he would have if he was 212. He would have probably won the Olympia.
Yeah.
So therefore, I think that, listen, everybody kind of wrote Wesley off because he didn't do too well in the last show, but I think he's coming back to redeem himself, and I'm looking forward to it, to be honest. So
That was one bad showing.
yeah, but you know how people are. You're always as good as your last
they're
showing.
idiots. What happened? Do you know what happened? Were you sick, or did you just overdo things?
Well, the funny thing is, because I took pictures every single day, I can already now see, looking back, that my body was already starting to regress about a few weeks out from the show. You can see the legs starting to shrink because I still had that mindset. I had to redeem myself from the Olympia of 24. Of course, after the back of winning the Arnold Classic 24, the Olympia did not go as planned because I wanted to go for more conditioning, which for me just doesn't work because the Arnold was already a good condition enough. So, but then I already started to regress in my dominance that I need because I wanted to chase that weight limit too hard and I want to get below it so you can be done on time and then grow into the show. But the growing never was able to happen because I did get very sick. The day that I left the Netherlands for Columbus, that night I got the sickest I've ever got in my whole life, and I lost 7 kilos in 2 days, which is like 15 or 16 pounds. But that's on top of an already depleted physique. So I was like, where is this weight even coming from? Because I thought I already was at my lightest I could be. And then you know how much water you're really still holding in the muscle. Because I was, I can't even explain how weak I felt. Because I could, it's hard to imagine because I was at the airport and you normally just walk to the gate, but I could not walk. I had to go in a wheelchair, and Marley had to push me through the airport because I'm stubborn enough to still go to the show, of course. But looking back, it was such an impossible task to get my physique back. And my weight was lower than when I did my pro qualifier to win my pro card in 2018. So it was just impossible to get back to any kind of fullness at all. Yet we still tried, but even if you eat 1,000 grams of carbs, if you get sick and your digestion, it takes weeks to really get back, especially eating so much carbohydrates. I think half of it didn't even get absorbed. And we did the best we could. But I respected the Arnold Classic too much to just say, oh, I'm not going to do it, because the last few days I felt good enough to still do the show. And I still got top 5, which funnily enough, top 5 was my goal the year before. I would have been very happy with 5th place because I came from 7th place at the Olympia. So being top 5 at the Arnold Classic would still have been a great victory. So I'm still happy with that I did it, but I learned a whole lot from that show. That when you push yourself too much, only one thing has to go wrong, and then your body can really go off the rails in terms of losing everything you've pretty much built up until that point. So that's also the reason why I didn't do any shows anymore, skipped the Olympia, and I really took an off season seriously until I really got fully back. And to be honest, it took many weeks because I took pictures every single day. And you can see my body slowly getting back to life. But when I compare those pictures to before the Arnold of 24, I still wasn't even at that level yet after a couple of months even of the off season. So it took a long time to get back to even my previous level. And now I can say I'm above that level again. So I'm very happy that I took the off season, because if I didn't, I would have never been able to make improvements.
I remember seeing you last year in Cologne at the FIBO. You were full and big as a house right there. I mean, that's when you bounced back by then, right?
Yeah.
Because you look humongous and still in good shape.
Yeah, that's because I had a nice rebound. I did Detroit a few weeks after that Arnold, and off of Detroit, I had a nice rebound. But some body parts are still not where they were supposed to be. The upper body bounces back quite quickly, which is what a lot of people see, because I like to wear a tank top to those expos so people can actually see the muscle they're coming for. That's what I never like to be covered up at expos like this. And but yeah, I'm happy that by then the fullness started to come back. But the real oxygen didn't begin at that point yet, because it was still kind of a health phase. But for me, a health phase is really getting back what I lost before, and then when that's done, you start to grow. But that's when Jay Cutler told me, "Oh, you need to be like," I think he said, you need to go to 280 pounds at least. And by that's, but I decided to go a little further than that eventually. So that was kind of funny on his podcast when, he really motivated me to take this off season seriously. And Phil
Mm.
Heath was there as well, and they were great motivational speakers right at the moment I needed it, because I'm always scared to lose my conditioning, to lose my shape. But when legends like this tell you to do so, you just do it.
Yeah. So is Arnold, are you doing both, Arnold UK also?
Yes, yes.
So is that the only thing you want to do? Is that the plan, or you can continue to go on to do Pittsburgh or Detroit, or what's the plan?
It's difficult to say. I mean, Detroit might be in the cards because I didn't realize Columbus and Detroit were so close together. You can even drive there from Columbus if you want. So depending on how the Arnold, Ohio goes and what happens after, I might do Detroit. I'm doing the Arnold Classic UK for sure.
And the
And
FIBO.
well,
FIBO.
there's also a show
You can
coming in
drive
the
there too.
Netherlands.
You can drive there
I
too.
will. At the FIBO, I will be there regardless anyway. So
It would be nice to have you on stage, though. It would be awesome.
yeah, for sure. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
It really depends. I do have to be honest. I want to do more shows. I don't want to only do a few big shows and then nothing, because I'm getting older as well. I realize the career isn't going to last forever. And when you're in shape and when you're in good shape and everything feels healthy and feels good, why not do multiple shows when you're right at that point?
That's music to our ears, trust me.
Yeah. I mean, I really want to do multiple shows for sure, especially with how the new rules are. Of course, you have to win 2 pro shows to even qualify for the Olympia.
I totally forgot about. Yeah, you got to win 2 shows, right?
Yeah.
But if you win Arnold, you're good, right?
No,
for sure. Yeah, yes, there's
the
5
Arnold
shows.
qualify. It's a tier 1 show. Okay.
Yeah, not the UK doesn't, but the Ohio one does.
Yeah.
So he has Ohio, Romania, New York, Pittsburgh, and Dubai, I think.
Oh, so you kind of strategize your plan on whatever happens in Columbus.
Yeah, for sure. But regardless, even if I win Columbus, the UK will happen regardless.
Yeah. You're going to do UK regardless. But
yeah,
if you could actually shut it down after the UK if you win Columbus. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but maybe not.
You could,
maybe
but you won't, because
one.
you're a warrior. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Germans, they want to see you too. There's a show in Holland too, around that time.
Yeah, there will be the Benelux Pro, which is a week before the FIBO, I believe. And it's a Classic Physique Pro show. So only Classic Physique. So that might be, I've never won a pro show in the Netherlands before. So that might be a good opportunity for my, native countrymen.
Yeah, absolutely. You should.
My family as well. So
yeah, if you're from the Netherlands, you should represent. Now, let me ask you this, because we know who's in the lineup. Who do you see out of the 9 or 10 that are potentially, challenging you, Mike, and for the title this year? Honestly.
Yeah, so the only one who's also proven himself is Menegate from Brazil, of course. He was 7th at the Olympia. I've seen him. He was quite a tall guy. So I've beaten him before when I did the Olympia last time, but I was only, I think, 1 placing difference. So he's a good classic bodybuilder as well. So if he comes in true condition, he can really surprise people, because he does have the lines and the physique for it, and the dominance on stage probably. And then we also have Andrea Momoli. He's also coached by my coach, and he looks pretty insane. And what Stefan is saying about him is that he looks insane as well. So, but it's really difficult to see on Instagram how somebody stacks up against other people. Because
what is the Brazilian's Instagram account? So maybe Carter can look it up while we talk about him. See if you find something without the tank top, because he ain't taking my title.
That's right.
Oh, here we go. He's tall, you said? He's a taller guy too?
He's pretty tall, I think.
He just
Like either 6'1" or something.
just by looking at this right now, it looks to me like he still, has a lot of room to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how close he is to the weight limit, but
Mm. It just looks like, I don't know why. It just looks like he could just put on some more, he has some more room.
Who's the other Brazilian? He came on the scene this past year. Young kid. Aceto's working with him. I just texted him to ask his name because he's doing the Arnold. He's really good.
With the
Let's,
glasses?
What is it?
The guy with the glasses?
Um, I don't think so. Well, no, no. He's really young. I want to say like
thanks, Carter. Carter, try to look, what is Momoli? Momoli's Instagram. Let me see if I can find it. Andrea Momoli, Mammoli. Andrea. Milos loves the vacuums.
I'm telling you.
He's in
Sure.
shape too. He's in real good shape.
Yeah, he's dangerous.
and he did the
Yeah.
Olympia as well last year, but he didn't hear his name, so we never know what placing he would have gotten.
Mm.
So that's he's Italian, so they call his number, but because I don't know everybody's names, of course. So he couldn't hear that his number was being called out, so he never got into the proper call out. So we don't know
Oh, so he missed his
where he would
call
have
out.
ended up.
Are
Yeah,
you
so that's
serious?
why he's kind of dangerous
Yeah, but I
because you
thought
don't
that's why
know.
they have stage expediters to help when
Yeah,
someone doesn't hear his name.
I would have expected something like that as well. I mean, you're never doing it on purpose, so you need somebody
Mm.
to point you to the right direction.
Can you imagine you go into the Olympia, man, for the first time probably, and then they call your name, you don't hear it, you're so nervous.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Especially the
crazy.
expo, it's like very loud, and
Yeah,
you really got to
yeah.
pay attention to Steve's voice. And if you don't, if it's your
Yeah.
first time indeed, you can miss
I
it
think this
easily.
guy is really dangerous, for real.
But
Yeah.
maybe he doesn't even speak English. Maybe he didn't understand the number, you
So,
know.
and
No, he doesn't. Yeah.
he's on the same team as Team Outlaw, huh?
Yep.
Okay, so well, I guess I'm gonna say this right now. He's a top 3 guy for this year. So no,
Yeah.
if he
Yeah,
hears his
quite
number.
possibly. Quite possibly, yes. Wow.
yeah.
But
I mean, listen,
now,
this it's not the strongest lineup. You got some strong guys, but I mean, I don't know all the competitors on stage, but I would say that he's him and the other guy, the Menegate, that those guys are the top call out, first call out.
okay,
Yeah,
let's
for
let's
sure.
be useful just for a second now that Wesley was telling us that this guy was called out, but he didn't understand the number. They didn't understand his name. They probably mispronounced it, and then he didn't get the call out. That should never happen, ever, ever. So if somebody is called out, they have to enforce it. Like you said, Dennis, the expediter there should go there, find out the number, and bring him on the stage. And I
Mhm.
tell you, my pro debut, of course, San Jose Pro Invitational. I didn't expect to be called out at all.
Thanks, Carter.
Yeah, and Ben the
Well, since we're at that point, I'd like to say you too can unlock your full potential with the cutting edge lineup from high tech pharmaceuticals. All you have to do is just follow them on IG and Facebook. Visit High Tech Pharma for a deep dive into their science backed formulas that will power your performance, strength, and also bring you some of the best results.
Fuel your grind with the science of results. High-tech pharmaceuticals brings power, performance, and precision to every product. Elevate your fitness. Visit hightechpharma.com today. Backed by science. Built for strength.
I was calling some stupid name. One time, second time, third time, it was not my name, right? So I didn't respond. So finally, he yelled at me, competitor number 2. Like, oh shit, I got the first call out, and I won Symmetry round in my first show. But I listened 5 times, whatever they pronounce it, and I didn't, get out. But if this guy, Wesley, this is the first time I heard, if they call his name or number and he just didn't respond.
Yeah, it's
Something
easy
has
to
done.
overhear your own name or number when you're
Yeah.
in a lineup with 60, 70 people and you in row number 3.
That's a shame.
But that's
the problem.
that's what the stage expediters are there for. They stand there, they hear the numbers, and they have to make sure these guys are lined up correct. So, I don't know what happened. I mean, this is the first time I hear this, but this shouldn't have happened because this is the Olympia. You come from all the way from Italy, and yeah, you should be able to hear your number or your name, but things can happen when there's so many competitors.
Yeah.
Did you watch it, Dennis, at the Olympia?
Yes, but I don't
classic
remember.
routine?
I don't remember this happening.
It was
can't-
shocking. There was guys in the 5th, 6th call out
Yeah,
that should have been in the first call out.
yeah. I mean, with 70 people, there's 15 guys that could be potential top 5. Any way you want to
Right.
see it.
Right. But
They were
that's how that
close.
mistake happens too. They're doing 7-men call outs. They're rushing through it,
Yeah.
and it's like, he's not
But
here,
if you
he's not
call
here.
7, you want to see 7. You cannot, if there's only 6 on the 7-man caller, then I was like, hey, wait a minute, where's this number 7? Where's number so-and-so?
Well, might as well, let me jump in here, Dennis. You remember Prague, Andrea Presti. Andrea Presti was like 4th or 5th call out because, again, they didn't notice him on the stage.
Mhm.
It's Andrea Presti, who was in Olympia 2 times. He won so many shows, and he was there in shape. And somehow, he's not in the first call out, but in second, not in third. Like, holy hell. Yeah, it could happen. So let's make sure that this doesn't happen.
I know, of course it can happen. It can happen that they oversee you, but like Wesley said, they called him and he didn't come out.
Breaks my heart.
You
Yeah,
know?
I have a question for all 3 of you, and it's regarding Wesley's physique and how you would strategize. What are your? I'm going to ask Wesley first, and then Jose, and then Dennis. How do you win this show? What are your strengths that you think you can overtake Mike and these guys? Like, how do you see yourself? What kind of shape do you need to bring? You already said that probably you were over dieted and flattish. You need to be full. Define your conditioning and presentation is going to take the Arnold.
1 second, while he's answering the question, Carter, go to Wesley's Instagram and put up the picture of the front double in the first row. It's one of my favorite shots.
That's, I mean, of course, you lead with the front double biceps, the first pose you do of the mandatories. And it's also like, it's called the Arnold Classic, and it's really synonymous with Arnold. And the thing you think about when you think about Arnold is also that iconic bicep pose, especially the biceps and just the dominance, the tallness, the structure. And I'm bringing that again, but then better than last time. And the conditioning will for sure be there, but not just, dryness, conditioning, separation everywhere. So the quads, and you can see everything needs to be visible, but also in the arms, you see the tricep separate from the bicep. Every single shoulder striation untouched will be shown at the competition from the back. Just for the audience, if you watch a back double bicep, according to anatomy, you should be able to see all the shoulder striations. If you
go to the most muscular right next to it, Carter, we can see the shoulder striations he's talking about.
If you don't see those shoulder striations, it means you're lacking separation. Could be many factors. Why?
Well,
but in my opinion, classic bodybuilding should be not just classic from the 70s and 80s, but also a classic body should show all muscles. It should not be modified in any way except for by training hard for those muscles.
Carter, there's one before the front double. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I think that the quality that you're able to show in the separation of the muscles, that shows you that you it's kind of, without saying anything, people know it takes effort to create that.
And it always
there's no other way.
It looks clean, crisp.
Yeah.
I would call this crisp. Something that you don't see on 80% of other competitors simply because their shoulders are too, they use their shoulders to inject and there's too much scar tissue. You don't see this fine striations in certain body parts. You just don't see it like this anymore. And that's why I appreciate when you bring that to the stage, because this is what's helping you.
He called it modified.
Yeah.
Anyhow, modified.
Yeah.
This is unmodified. This is.
And even, I remember even his arm from the back, you see everything, the brachialis, the detail, it's all there. I mean, it separates just like an anatomy chart. I mean, this is what it's supposed to look like. You don't see these on most guys because there's too much scar tissue going around, even in classic,
Yeah.
That.
It's in my opinion, it's kind of a shame that sometimes also the judges, they don't really have a choice sometimes but to choose a physique that has those characteristics without the separation, because sometimes that guy happens to be the biggest or has striations in like the glutes,
Thanks, Carter.
which sometimes, I think, in my opinion, if you ask anybody in the world, where would you rather have striations, in your chest and shoulders or just in your glutes? I mean,
Ask
we all
Milos.
know the answer to that.
Ask Milos.
I
Milos
said
will tell you straight, glutes. It's the most important thing.
All right. So, Jose,
Yeah.
how do you see Wesley winning? I mean, he has a formidable competition. You knowing his physique structure and everything, what does he need to bring?
Fullness, because he's got the condition, he's got the separation. Was that most muscular like recent, a few days ago, or was that at another show?
That was before the Arnold UK of 24.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So now imagine this, but an extra
2 years later.
4 to 5 pounds.
Right. And that's his genetics. He's got those lines, those details. He's just got to be full with those details.
Yeah.
Sometimes the fuller you are when you're super lean, the harder you look.
But
Those
Jose,
details come out
you
more.
see this a lot with guys that are super shredded from the front, but not so much from the rear. You can turn Wesley from top to bottom. He's just detailed everywhere when he's in
Right.
shape. When he's in shape, So he's going to be just as crisp from the back in his back double. I remember that. And this is what can win him the title, And I don't know if the prize money is up for the classic too, but
Yeah, it is.
it is, so it won't
It's
hurt.
100K this year. So
Okay. So
Yes.
and what about in UK? 50?
it is higher than last time, but I can't say exactly how much it is.
How much did you make
Because I
last
had,
time for both shows? You remember?
60K for the Ohio and 30, I think, for the UK.
Hmm.
That's good.
So maybe they do 150 now, so
Mm.
the half of it, maybe.
But was there ever a time in that prep or in that weekend when it was going on where you thought about the prize money?
No, never.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. The
That-
title
that's
and
literally-
the title and the trophy and the prize money that thought comes afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, every time I hear, oh, the prize money is 100K, I'm like, oh, that's a nice bonus. But it has nothing to do with, even if it was like 10K or 5K, it doesn't matter. You still do it for the title and the honor of doing that competition and your passion for it. Yeah.
Then
So
Jose said he would like him to see fullness on Wesley. What would you want?
same. Stand out. Be bigger than anybody on that stage because you're taller. You have to be bigger. You cannot be the tallest guy and not the biggest guy.
Yeah.
That's rule number one. You got to be the biggest guy on stage at 6'3". There's nobody even close to you. So now they call you, you got to stand out height-wise, width. And then you have, like I said, you have those body parts that just overpower most of these guys. Front double biceps, your biceps, your arms. What are your arms? What are they like, 22s?
Like 51.5 centimeters. Whenever somebody asks me, they want to measure it like an expo. I don't know how many inches it is.
I'll
How
tell
many
you in a second.
centimeters?
I'll tell you in a second.
How many centimeters?
51.5.
Over 50. Oh, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I thought they were bigger, but that's because they're so detailed. That's why they look that big. You know, I thought they were a little bigger than that. Hold on.
Yeah, but you, that's that.
51.5. That's cold, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's 20.2. So I thought they were like 21, 22 inches. But see, that's what you create, the illusion.
Yeah.
You know, I literally thought because your arms look so much bigger than everybody else. So that tells us that most of these guys don't even have 20-inch arms.
Okay. So let me just go back in
Most of them
2024.
don't.
2024, Arnold. Jose and Dennis, you watch him win. How did he win? On which particular thing you think that Wesley won the show?
Classic look.
Classic
Structure.
Structure, width.
Yeah.
He was so much wider.
Yeah.
Crazy condition, everything else, beautiful. But I think it was apparent when he opened up those lats and Ramon was there, Urs, they didn't have a back lats to match. This is how I see it. And now just to tell you my also 2 cents, they both said the right thing, and I would say the same, because you have this unmodified, striated chest and shoulders and everything else, right? You have that look, as Jose said, genetics. You have a commodity of maybe risking to be a little bit fuller, but you're gonna still have a more striation, even if you're so much fuller than some of the guys that hardly have any striations. So you're gonna present that striated look anyway. Your most muscular is ridiculous. I mean, Dennis, Jose, you've seen that one. Everybody appreciate that look. Tie-ins, bicep, triceps, brachialis, delts, crazy. You mentioned yourself, back double biceps from the back. You see all the fibers. That's bodybuilding, and you bring that. I would just say that your legs have to be like that legs at 2024 Arnold, that first front double biceps photo, because still you're so wide and you're so tall. So that's the only thing that I would say it has to be there.
I agree. I mean, the bigger and better your upper body becomes,
Mhm.
the more your legs has to match, especially when so many people are really paying attention to it now, because that's when a lot of body parts are good, you're always judged on your weakest body part, especially at the top of bodybuilding, which is how it should be. I mean, we all strive for the perfect body, and when you win, you gotta be flawless, basically. So the legs, I really paid close attention when, as I mentioned before, whenever we notice any loss of fullness in the legs or loss of performance or anything, we not only increase the carbs, but also we drop the cardio, we decrease the steps, we make sure the leg training is intense and short. No energy goes to waste for the legs, whereas before I did way too many steps, way too much morning cardio. And for me, with such long legs and such heavier body weight, it just burns up those legs much too quickly. And when you're in the moment, you don't even see it coming until you look back and you kind of see yourself shrinking slowly and slowly to the stage. So now we actively prevent that from happening. And that's really why I need a coach, because yeah, we have a kind of a reverse relationship, because he's not the one who should tell me, "Oh, you have to do cardio or you have to eat less." He tells me you have to eat more. You have to stop doing so many steps. You have to, relax. And for example, on a rest day like today, actually relax, actually rest. Has always been my issue, because I always think I can do more. But now for me, less is more, because as all of you mentioned, fullness is the key for my physique, and the conditioning will be there regardless. That's not going to be the issue. So I really think that's going to present the biggest difference on stage so far. I mean, of course, we're going to see on stage how it's really going to be, but I have a hunch that this is going to be a big difference.
So if I have to put you on the spot right now for the top 5, how do you see it play out?
It's going to be,
and you're confident, and that's perfectly fine.
yeah. I mean, if I look at everybody from the outside in, as like an outside viewer, and I'm coming to the show as I know I've already looked like in this prep, like in the last 1.5 weeks, when I wake up after a high carb day and I'm still below the weight limits, that physique can definitely win, especially like especially with Mike, as how he looked at the last Olympia, and with his weight now being as it's supposed to be. I think, yeah, that physique that I have would trump that physique. But everything, of course, this is all based on if everything goes according to how it optimally should for me. But yeah, to be honest, I really think if you look at the classic physique, if you look at the Arnold Classic, if you look at bodybuilding criteria, classic physique criteria, there would not be a reason not to at least have a very tight battle between me and Mike, because let's be honest, he's an incredible bodybuilder himself. He has qualities that I don't have in certain poses, but I think the other way around, I have more qualities over him, especially in classic physique. Maybe in bodybuilding, it's a different story, but in classic physique, where that golden era sense, that X factor of a classic physique, what makes it why there even are two different classes. I think my physique embraces that just a bit more than a lot of the other guys. So all I have to do, which is not a small feat, of course, is to get in shape and be full and peak right. That's the bodybuilding part about it. But the classic physique part about it, I think I have nailed.
You got that
In
down.
combination with the, yeah, that's really my thing. So people have, I'm so grateful for the people who follow me, who are a fan of me, who've said throughout the years, if only Wesley got a chance to be compared to the top guys. And yeah, it happened in 24, and we saw the result. If everything comes together, I really can win. So if I have to say the top five will be me in first, Mike in second. I think Andrea in third, Menegate fifth, fourth, I mean, and number five. Yeah, that's a difficult one. I mean, it would be awesome to see Sam Sulek in number five, even though it might be unrealistic, but it would be a great story. But who knows? He
Who
might,
knows?
if
He might
he's,
look better
yeah,
than
if he's
than people expect him to look.
exactly. I mean, I don't count him out at all. He's in the best shape ever. And it's just difficult to gauge how big he is against the other guys. But I think like right now, Kim Angel, I think he's also from Brazil.
Yeah.
And he is very conditioned already. But I don't think that somebody like this automatically wins over a Sam Sulek, because mass-wise, they might be quite comparable, and conditioning-wise as well. So if Sam nails his posing, who knows, he might beat a big name like this. Then you also have Gabriel, also from Brazil, who, if he
He's
comes
the
in
one I was
really good
talking
shape,
about.
yeah, he's a
Gabriel.
good,
Yeah.
yeah, he's good. He's good as well. So if he comes in actual good shape with very good conditioning and good presentation and confidence, he could really get to the top five as well. So the fifth place is quite difficult for me to gauge, but I think the top four is pretty solid that I mentioned.
Quick question for Milos and Jose before I let you go, Wesley, because I know you are close to a show and I know you probably got a meal to get in. Let's say Wesley comes to the Arnold and nails it, wins the Arnold. What is that doing for the Olympia this year?
Major hype. Major hype. And I mean, I didn't want to mention it, but might as well. I will mention it because Wesley is such a class act and well spoken. But I do remember when you won 2024 Arnold, you said Ramon is never going to beat you again. And then Ramon, yes, and Ramon did beat you, and Ramon is current
Yeah.
champion. But I know what you were meaning because you beat him at that contest. Jose and Dennis was watching with me 2024 at the Arnold Classic. You didn't leave any question marks. You were that good. So if you can bring improvement, win the Arnold Classic, you're gonna go with a major hype at the Olympia. Uh, as Jose said, fifth, sixth call out guys look phenomenal. All the classic guys look goddamn phenomenal to just
Yeah.
make it there. And then you mentioned even subpar, you still made a top five. Like people say, oh, it was horrible. Top five at Arnold Classic. Like you were just mentioning, can Gabriel, can Kim Angel, can Sam Sulek make a top five? Top five is a major thing. I was just watching, by the way, I'm going to do very quickly, that skier that represent China, Eileen something. And they were asking, she's the most decorated skier, had 3 golds and 2 silvers, and say the silver medal stings like it's the best. And she started laughing. It's a silver Olympic medal. It's an accomplishment. Like, what do you mean? Like, oh, second place is not the first loser. It's like you are still Olympic medalist. God, goddamn. I think that anybody making top 5 at Arnold Classic should be beyond proud. Anybody at top 5 at the Olympia, I mean, you have a Terence Raffin there to deal with. You have a Jose Munoz. You have I mean, formidable guys. But this is Arnold Classic. I do think there's going to be dog fight between you and Mike. Like I said, Mike gets you on some things that you don't have, and then you also got him in many other things. So I'm looking forward. Dennis, I forgot your question.
But before you ask the question, Wesley, thank you so much, man. We appreciate your time.
Of course.
And I'm looking forward to seeing you in Columbus.
Yeah.
All right, my
you.
man.
See you there.
Take care,
Appreciate
champ.
it.
Be
Good
safe.
luck.
Good luck.
Thank
Good
you so
luck.
much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right. Now, go ahead, Milos.
Yeah. What was your question? I forgot.
You answered the question for like 5 minutes.
He said, "What does it do for the Olympia?"
What is it going to do for the Olympia? When
I'll tell you what. He'll be, if he wins this. Put it this way: Ramon has very little room to improve. He's right at the limit. There's no muscle he can add. He can't get any harder. He can only pose better. Where Wesley still has a few pounds to play with to get bigger, fuller, rounder, and he brings crazy condition just like Ramon.
Yeah.
So I would not want to go against him if I was,
when he's 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. True.
I mean, think of the bodybuilder that we all looked up to growing up. That's the same physique
Arnold?
as Arnold. Those arms and that presentation.
It was funny.
Similar
it was so funny. You remember when he won and Arnold interviewed him and Arnold said something like he reminds him of what? Lou? Was it Lou?
Lou Ferrigno, yeah.
And I was like, Arnold, come on, Arnold. You know damn well he looked just like you.
Yeah.
And
Who's just saying that because he's taller than him?
Yeah.
I was going to ask that question too.
You can still ask it.
Wesley, I didn't because I asked too much, so I talked too much, so I tried to shut up. But he does mantis pose, twisting back pose, the side double biceps pose. He mimics exactly Arnold's poses, but not front double bicep. That front double biceps that we saw right now, it's straight up and down, right? He was not,
but he also twisted, as I said, twisted. He can do that too. I've seen him do it. I've seen him do it. Oh, here he is.
Hey, what's up, man?
We got Justin Compton in the house. What's up, Justin?
Doing all right, man. I just now got done working out and finishing a meal.
So you still swole, man.
Compared to the normal person, yeah.
Yeah.
Not the old Justin, but yeah.
Yeah. Justin, what happened to the old Justin? All of a sudden there was Justin. All of a sudden Justin disappeared. It was almost like you were just gone. And the next thing I hear about Justin is Justin's coach. He's coaching people.
Justin wants to fight Kai Green.
Huh?
That's the next thing.
Hold on. Let me can you do something with this? I don't think he's supposed to be on the podcast.
That's okay. Come on, we love dogs.
Oh, well, I normally do, but that dog is a pain in the ass.
Okay.
Dude, if you have any nerves, you'll find them and get on them. Trust me.
Yeah.
But no, so to try to give it a brief rundown of that question. 2017 would have been January of 2017. I've always been kind of what I would say more of a private person, with just here's my bodybuilding life. You guys can see that. But anything outside of bodybuilding, I was always very like everything from my family to income to where I'm living. I kept everything to myself. And some people's different. Some people will just post their address online. I'm the type of guy that I don't even post when I check in at places. I don't even post where I'm at until I'm already home.
Yeah.
But anyway, so long story short, I managed to find myself with an infection. Not the normal infection either. Not the one where, it gets a little red and you go get antibiotics and, it all clears up in a week or two. This was the one where I take full credit responsibility to this, was a dumbass, for better lack of terms here. And as bodybuilders, I feel like the vast majority of us have a high pain threshold. I mean, we wouldn't be doing what we do if we don't. So I just kind of pushed through it. And I'm like, it's okay. And it wasn't in the delt either. It was actually in the glute. So you can imagine what that was. I didn't slip and fall and get a tetanus, from a nail or nothing. It was a poke, but I let it go for probably 2 weeks, if I had to guess. And it got to the size. I'm trying to I don't want people to under exaggerate how big this was. If I were to take my fist, and I have a pretty big hand, just like most bodybuilders, if I were to just slide it into my pants with a closed fist, you could see that much of it sticking out through my shorts. That big. So anyways, it popped. And when I say popped, I don't mean like it popped like a pimple. It I felt something pop and like my body just absorbed it. I'm like, and it was incredibly painful at the time. And it felt like you were injecting me with like acid or something, like battery acid touching me. Like it was burning. And it went on for like 2 or 3 hours. I went to sleep, didn't think anything about it. Turns out that was basically my body absorbing all of that infection, causing me to go septic. So that's a problem. I'm sure everybody here, is it just you and Milos on right now?
And Jose, yeah.
Okay, I didn't even see Jose. It hasn't said anything, so the screen hasn't popped up. Yeah, how you doing, man?
Good.
So
yeah.
Do what?
Are you on a phone or a computer?
It's probably on his phone. That's why.
No, you guys can't see me.
No, we can see you. But I said, Justin, it might be on his phone. That's why he can see you when you talk.
Yeah. I'm on the phone right now. That's why. So whoever's talking, it shows me that person.
Right.
But no, I didn't realize what was going on with this. So I thought, I got the flu. And then I convinced myself, I became a hypochondriac, which I always kind of have been one, if I'm being honest. But like, it was like, oh, well, your hands are shaking. You're diabetic. It's like, you're not sleeping. It's insomnia. You got hiccups. So that's a hiatal hernia. I convinced myself all this other bullshit. And finally, I ended up going to urgent care one night, and I hadn't eaten anything all day. And I went in, this guy was a complete quack doctor. Told me I had a sinus infection, I need to go home. That was not a sinus infection, and if I would have went home that night, there's about 100% chance I would have died that very night. That's what, like, you guys remember when Ronnie Coleman got septic, last year? Everyone had their prayers out for Ronnie, and I saw some people being like, oh, he'll be fine. I'm like, you all don't know what sepsis is. That can kill you very quickly. So needless to say, I go to the ER. I didn't drive myself there because I wasn't physically capable of it. I actually drove home from urgent care. And whenever I was driving home, I just felt so bad. I got home, I crashed on the couch and I had to go to the bathroom. And when I went to the bathroom, I sat down, I couldn't stand up. That was it. I couldn't get off the damn toilet. I reached up and I grabbed the towel rack and I pulled it off the wall, trying to stand up. And I'm like, okay, you're 290 pounds and you can't stand up. This is not the cold. This is not the flu. There's something going on. So, take myself in. And I remember this is when a plethora of issues, and it wasn't just, this was the beginning of it, very, very beginning. So I remember I go in and the doctor, they run basic blood work. And about 15 minutes later, they come out with a wheelchair. They wanted me to go in the back with a wheelchair. And I'm like, and I know I'm sick, but like, I'm 28 years old, a fucking wheelchair? Come on. I don't need a wheelchair. But at the time, I was so tired, I was like, cool, I'll take the lift. Let's go. I didn't give them any hard time. I go back. There's like 15 people surrounding me. Nobody's telling me what's going on. I ain't got a clue. So finally, the ER doctor comes in and he asked me a very specific question. He goes, do you have any family? And at the time, my ex was actually the one who drove me to the hospital because I didn't have anyone else in Jacksonville. Not at 11 o'clock at night anyways. to drive me. And I guess because I wasn't in my right state of mind, I didn't think that you could just call 911 and get an ambulance. Like, I guess because I was altered, not from drugs, but just from the fact that my body was giving up. So she takes me to the hospital, and I look over and I was like, well, I got her. And I was like, I got my mom and dad, they're in Kentucky. And he goes, you should call them because you may not be here tomorrow. And I was like, oh, damn. I know most doctors like to downplay stuff. Like you could be you could have stage 4 cancer, and they're like, oh, you're going to be okay because they want to keep you calm. This guy just told me I may be dead tomorrow. I'm like, oh shit. So that very statement sent me into shock and PTSD. I immediately did not know no one's ever told me something like that. You have the internet trolls. It's like, oh, you're taking a grandma test. You're going to die in 5 years. I'm like, yeah, dude, shut up. But when an ER doctor tells you may not be here tomorrow, that's an eye opener. At least it was for me, and it should be for anyone else that gets told that by an actual specialist. So long story short, that was about 2 weeks in ICU. Labs did not get better for a while. And when I say labs, it would be easier for me to tell you what was right and what was green on the lab work than what was red and everything. But the first thing that they brought to my attention was, and I didn't even realize this, my resting heart rate was nearly 200.
Yeah,
so fever. They didn't give
it high fever.
Very, very high fever. Yes.
Yeah.
They didn't give a rat's ass about the infection. First thing I got was IV beta blockers. Couldn't tell you what they are, but they were like, we got to calm this guy's heart down. He's going to die. So that was the first priority. That went on for 2 weeks, people coming and going. Probably around day 3, day 4, I started getting normal mental clarity. I got to the point where I was like, okay, my memory's right. I can talk, I can have conversation. But I was literally that close to actually dying. And I think kind of what rubbed me the wrong way, and when I went completely just MIA, radio silence with people, is I know the vast majority of people, when they ask you a question, it's not because they actually care. They don't really care.
Because they're nosy.
They want to be the one to break the news.
Yeah.
So long story short with that, I remember getting a text message. I'm not going to mention this guy's name because I'm not a big fan of him, but he is a bodybuilding media. And to be fair with it, he's a nice guy, but he's too clickbaity for my liking. But anyways, he texts me the very next day, and I got thinking, I was like, I looked down at my phone, I have all these messages. I'm talking several hundred text messages. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, I called my sister that night, and I told her, because my mom and dad was asleep at that hour. I said, okay, I need you to go over to mom and dad's house. I need you to tell them what's going on, and tell them that they should probably come to Florida because I may not be here tomorrow. They need to be driving now. So my sister's neighbor was a bodybuilder, and he just so happens he was a national level bodybuilder too, team level. He was good. He's actually a very good bodybuilder. I never really spent a lot of time with him or anything like that, even though we were in the same town. We just never really linked up. So anyways, my sister makes this Facebook post that says please pray for my baby brother. He's not doing very well. He's in the hospital. Well, this kid, rather than reaching out to me, he decides to go leak that to somebody. Again, that's why I said people don't give a rat's ass. They want to be the one to break the news. So I get all these people asking me questions, and I'm like, you guys haven't messaged me, commented, liked, called me in 5 to 10 years. And now all of a sudden you want to come around. No. So I just got to the point where I blocked numbers, deleted numbers, didn't respond to people. Hell, I didn't even talk to Hani for a while. And Hani was my sponsor with Evogen. I was dodging his phone calls. Just because Hani's a little bit of a nosy guy. Not necessarily in a bad way. Hani likes to know everything. He was not coaching me either, by the way. So he's going, again, it's his company, right? So he wants his company represented in the right way. So I get that, understand. So I ended up, that went down, and all this, in between now and the next 6 months, I ended up with a gallbladder attack. I had pneumonia twice because my immune system was wrecked. I had the shoulder issue that lasted for 7 years because I was an idiot and didn't get that fixed because I thought I would get over it with physical therapy and peptides. And hey, guys, peptides are not always going to fix everything like everyone nowadays seems to think. So that didn't work. But my shoulder was so bad, I'm left-handed. So to take a right turn, you have to kind of go like this. I couldn't take a right turn. So I was like, okay, gym, not happening. You're not going to the gym. So now it's like, you're not taking any gear. Your hormones has crashed. You're depressed. You're losing weight rapidly. You're not going to the gym. And I just got to the point where I was like, you know what? Today, one day, maybe 800 calories. The next day, maybe 8,000 calories. Like I was very meticulous with everything up until that moment. Like if you would have asked me in December 25th, 2016, what did you eat 3 months prior? I would tell you the exact food and the times that I ate. I had everything down to the detail. That's why I feel like I was able to coach myself very well because I had everything dialed in and I literally tracked and monitored just like I do my own clients. But anyways, what was I getting at on that? Shit, I lost track.
So yeah, you were lost interest in training and
Yeah.
losing weight.
Well, it wasn't really I lost the interest. I simply couldn't do it. Like
Okay.
this arm was just dead, essentially, for like 6 months. Finally, I said, okay, you not only can you not lift weights, you gotta go get this thing. Like you gotta do something. You can't just walk around with a limp arm. Doctor told me I had a very major AC joint separation, and I know what caused that. It actually happened a week out from my final show that I did, and I just pushed through it. But it just continued to build up and get worse and worse, which that inflammation ended up leading to scar tissue, which somehow ended up with a bone spur and a calcium deposit. That's what the actual surgery was to fix. Turns out I didn't tear anything. I thought I ripped my tendons completely off the bone. But ironically, I did run the booth at the Arnold in 2017. My flights was late. I had intentions of training. Like when I shouldn't even tell people this since the Arnold's coming up. But when I go to Columbus, I don't go to the powerhouse downtown. That's a disaster. If you want to work out, if you want to network, that's the place to go. But if you want to actually work out, that's the worst possible place to be. So I drive about an hour north to Metro North. And I didn't get there on time. I had delays in flights. I went to the hotel gym. I was like, at this point, my shoulder was bothered, but it wasn't unbearable. I said, I'm going to get a light pump. I got to do something. I was like, I've just taken a flight. I'm going to try to flush this water. I'll do like a 30, 40-minute workout. And all they have is a stack of cables. So I was like, okay, I can work with this. It's not really what I want, but I can work with this. So I was doing, I'm going to scoot back for a second so you can see this. Like I was doing front raises with the cable, and I had my hand in this position, not down, but up. And I'm guessing it must have put a little pressure on that bicep. And I felt something, was kind of like somebody like pinched the skin a little bit. I didn't think anything about it. It didn't hurt. Well, the next day, this guy was like my best friend in bodybuilding. We still talk every day too. He saw me at the expo. I wore a hoodie the whole time at the expo, mostly because I just didn't really want to be around. Because every question that came to me was the same question. I was like, man, I feel like Arnold on repeat. Because if you've ever been around Arnold, he says the same thing to like every fan and spectator. So I was like, damn, man, this is getting annoying. So I just had my jacket on. We get back to the hotel room. My buddy goes, hey, I know you're not big into like SEO and shit like that. He's like, did you put something in your arm? And I was like, I was highly offended when he said that. Like it was literally like me, him, and this girl in the room. To be fair, I was pissed off that he even said that to me because like I've always had like really good arm genetics. Like my limbs has always been my best body parts. Like my chest and my back was my weaker ones. So if I was going to put something anywhere, it would not be my strong point. But anyways, he asked me that, and I didn't realize why he asked me. And I go, no. I was like, well, why would you ask me that? And he goes, because your right arm looks a little funky right now. I didn't realize it because I had a hoodie on all day. I went and I looked, and I was like, damn, dude.
You tore it.
I tore it, yeah. It was a minor tear, but it had swollen. We put a tape on it, measured 25 inches. It was still swollen. Now, that was cold. Previously, I had 24 and a half pumped, and that's pumped as far as they're going to go. But this was 25 cold. So that arm was probably swollen by an inch. And it's just like you can see how like there's supposed to be like a like a ridge right here for this muscle. All this smooth.
So smooth.
Just,
Yeah. It's
yeah,
like a
all
lump.
that was water retention. And I'm like, fuck, man. I was like, I can't win. And so shortly after that was pneumonia. And then I had some relationship issues. And I just got to the point where I was like, you know what? I don't want to do with anyone. And then obviously me and Evergen had to part ways, and for multiple reasons. Like, it was in my contract I had to compete twice that year, and maybe I would have attempted to pull that off, but I wouldn't have been my best. But my contract was coming to an end anyways. I'm like, so if you're not going to be your best, don't get on stage. Like, don't embarrass yourself. Like, don't be a 10 and show up at a 6. Don't do that. So like, don't rush anything. So like, and Hani wants me to represent. He hired me as like, the big version of Justin, and I'm not that guy now. So like when we parted ways, did I want to let go of the money? No, but I also understand business. You can't pay someone to do a job that they're simply not doing. So with that being said, there goes the stage, there goes the gym, and there goes the money. What do I got left? Like, all I got is trolls online. So I was like, okay, I just like shut down. When people ask me questions, I would say, sometimes I just bullshit. Like, hey man, I heard this and I heard that. I'm like, yep, it's true. Yep. I just go right along with it. It was like, I don't want to have this conversation. So for probably about a year and a half, I was not mentally safe to be around. You can take that how you would wish.
Depressed.
I was depressed to the point where I didn't want to hurt myself. That was not the case. But like, if you looked at me wrong, we were going to have problems. And I did have problems with a few people. Like it's almost like I went from being the type of guy that would turn the other cheek to the type of guy that was actually looking for an issue now.
Just always pissed off.
Always.
Yeah.
Always angry. It was like I'd wake up angry, go to bed angry. Like there was no form of satisfaction. And then my way of coping with that was eating. And it got so bad that like I had a McDonald's that was like half a mile from my house. They knew me by name. They literally knew me by name when I went there. And I would this is when the dollar menu was still actually $1. I would order anywhere between $15 to $20 off the dollar menu. And I would eat it right in front of them. And they would just sit there, the workers would just sit there and stare and watch, because I would eat like 10 to 15 sandwiches with fries and all that stuff. And that's all I would eat for the day. I was like, I'd have like my 15 or 20 minutes of satisfaction for the day, and then I'd go right back to my old self. It was a horrible way of coping. But, and honestly, it took me a couple of years probably to pull myself out of that funk. I ended up into another relationship that turned into be a disaster that also did not help my mental status at all. So probably I'd say around 2021, the real version of me came back. Yeah. So there was about a 3 to 4 year period there. And I'm the type of guy that I refuse stuff like SSRI drugs. Like I knew I was depressed. I fully knew that. I was like, I'm not taking this stuff.
Yeah.
Like either you're going to get over it or you're not, but you're not going to be on meds for life because you've had a problem. So like you're gonna man up and deal with this, or you're not. And I'm not going to judge anybody who does take that kind of stuff, especially because I don't want to see people commit suicide or anything like that. Yeah. So like if you need it, take it. But like I knew I wasn't at that level. I just had to know how to control my anger at that point.
Yeah, the best way to control it is just to stay your ass home. That's what I would do. It's to stay home. Right. If you're not out, you can't run into issues.
Yep, and stay off the phone too, right? Because the phone will piss you off quicker than being out in public. Yeah.
But it's good to hear, what the story, what really happened, and it's definitely even better to see you came, you went all the way through this, and you're back, you coach people, you're very successful with clients, and Joe comes to mind right off the bat. and, take us, talk about, how did that get started? How do you start, coaching athletes? And right now, who of the ones that you coach are the ones that we're going to have to, worry about in the future?
So I've actually been coaching a little bit since around 2011. When I say a little bit, it was on like a super small scale. I actually coached a local guy. Like my first client was Chauncey Wilson. I don't know if you guys may or may not recognize that name. He's a pro now. He ended up turning pro in Classic, and he was destined for that division. Like I don't know what he's done as a pro. I know Chauncey has a couple of kids, and he's got a different life nowadays. But I coached him. We won his first show. I think we won his first show. And we got third at nationals, and I was like, maybe I'm decent at this. Maybe I kind of know what to do. But I don't think I charged him for that, because I was like, I didn't really feel comfortable. Like, I don't feel qualified to do this. So I ended up coaching a few other people along the way, and then I earned my pro card, and then after that, I expected big things to happen. You know how, like, I'm sure during your era, people was like throwing money at you with contracts. Nobody did that in 2012. Like, there's no big money contracts. There's no $500,000 deal. There's very rarely even $100,000 deals out there nowadays.
Yeah.
I do know of a couple of guys that's getting six figures, but it's like not very far. It's not very many of them getting that.
Yeah.
So I expected that, and it didn't happen. So I was like, okay, you got to figure things out for yourself, because I was a loan officer up to that point, and I hated it. I didn't want to do that anymore. It was zero interest of mine. I also had an engineering degree. I never used that engineering degree one day in my life. I was like, but I was tempted to. If I didn't do something with bodybuilding in 2012 or 13, I was just going to scratch the whole thing. Be like, you know what? You'll just be a fit guy at the gym in your little small hometown, and this is who you are. This is your life. But thankfully, things did go a different direction for me. And I did start coaching people in 2013. And as you know, back then, the PED topic was like, no, we don't talk about that. We've got to be hush hush. So I remember seeing screenshots, specifically one of them, like Sean Roden was coaching people as well, trying to make some side money. And it was like, it had his email at the top and it had the drug protocol at the bottom. And I was like, oh man, I was like, if I just saw that on Sean, will people screenshot my stuff too? So I didn't want my name attached to that. So I kept my clientele like very close centered. Like, I'm talking less than 10 people, like probably like 6, 7, 8 people. And a couple of those were even natural people as well. I chose that on purpose. It's like I wasn't coaching very many people at all. And the ones I did coach, I trusted. So I had a lot of experience with it, to be fair, from 2013 to 2017. And 2017, it wasn't my heart's desire to be a coach. I never thought that was something I was going to do. And to be fair about it, when I started doing it, it was like, it's a job, man. It's income, it pays the bills. And then when you because I actually thought that when I first started, I was like, people's just going to kick my doors down wanting to be coached. No. Being a good bodybuilder, we all know being a good bodybuilder on stage does not mean you're going to be a good coach. Right. And being a good coach doesn't mean you're a good bodybuilder. So I understand why people didn't just come to me immediately, because the higher end athletes more or less made me prove myself as a coach. I can do this. I mean, you're not going to put 6 months or a year of your life on hold for a guy who maybe knows what he's doing. So once I actually got a couple of clients who would actually execute the plan, do the plan, I'm putting results on the table. Then things changed. It changed for me financially, but it also changed for me mentally, because when I see results, like when people check in with me, it actually makes me happy. Like, in a weird way, like if I see a guy who's like I have a guy right now, I checked him in this morning. He kind of pushed it a little too far. He's 8.5 weeks out. And I was like, dude, I'm letting off the gas. I was like, you look like you're 3 weeks out. It's like, we don't need to go any harder. Like, I'm very happy with his progress. And he mentioned, he's like, well, you think we should do this show here in like 2 weeks? I'm like, well, hold on. No. But anyways, it just makes me happy to actually see people reaching their goal and doing good things with themselves and doing it in a healthy, responsible manner as well, not being reckless with shit. So that was kind of like what turned me on to make me keep going. And then the more I became interested, the better my clients got. And then the business just kind of took off from there because that was not my original intentions. Like I've actually got a little bit of a stock exchange background too. I don't know if you want to call it much of a background, but I mean, I can pay the bills off the stock market if I want to, but it's not really what I want to do because that's a very highly stressful thing to have to do. Because you got like 3 laptops looking at 3 different charts all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I want to do this or not. But
Yeah.
like when coaching took off and I got like, good clients and whatnot, and I see people executing on their plan, I was like, this is actually kind of fun. It's almost like I'm competing, but not competing. I'm doing it through their footsteps. And then thankfully, the situation that I just mentioned to you about like the infection, so far I've been able to help 2 people with that same issue. One kid, he only hired me for like a month and he wanted to do his first cycle. And I felt terrible for what happened. He lived in, I think he was in England. I don't know if it was his issue or it was his bad gear. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he just didn't know what to do, but he sends me his check-ins and all of a sudden his leg, it was like right in the dead center of his quad. I don't know why he pinned that, but whatever. One leg was like 4 inches bigger than the other. And it was bright red in the pictures. And I just called him. I was like, hey man, what's going on with that leg? He goes, oh, I took a shot and it hurts. And I'm like, don't just hurt, bro. I was like, you need to go to the hospital. You need to go right now. I was like, today, just get in your car and go. And he did. They ended up lancing his leg open like a 9-inch scar to get all that shit out of his leg. And they told him if he had waited much longer, they might have potentially had to do an amputation. So that kind of makes me feel good in a way. Like it don't make me feel good that the guy had a problem, but the fact that I was able to get on top of that quickly, because he was just going to let it go. He was going to be a hard ass like I was and say, oh, it'll go away on its own. But, I get a chance to see stuff like that. So being able to help people in that sense, because I could have potentially saved this kid's leg.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, that's what we all love, that, if you can help someone and you can see someone who has success with, all the mentorship that you have passed along. And that's, and that's why I wanted to ask you about Joe Palasio.
Yeah.
Who basically, for me, almost came out of nowhere last year and just put himself on the map. And what are your plans for Joe this year? Is it, is he supposed to compete this year or is it?
Yeah. We're going to start in Tampa. Tampa's the goal.
Okay.
So Joe's already announced that too, so I'm not breaking any news on that one. But I don't think we got a bad decision in Tampa, but like that was the first real look Joe got. And I think Joe really wants that show. He wants that title. And Joe and Jordan are actually very good friends. And Jordan's coming back to defend that title. So that just kind of makes this whole thing a little bit more bittersweet because deep down, I'm a Jordan Hutchinson fan too, but I'm obviously rooting for Joe. Like we're planning on taking the title from him this year. But that gets to that original question. Joe is what I would call him and Brian Balzano is by far the 2 biggest hyper responders I've ever worked with. I did not expect the amount of muscle from what he's put on from 2025 to 2026. I didn't expect that. I didn't really try to do that either. Like we didn't push food anywhere near as hard as we have in the past. We didn't change anything at all in the supplement protocol. That's exactly the same as it was for the last 2 or 3 years. And somehow he's continued to grow like at a rapid pace. But we sat down after Texas last year and we already knew the weak points. I told him, I was like, I don't need a judge to tell me this. Like I've been around a long time. We knew posing needed to work on. And it's not necessarily his abs are a problem, but it's like when he lifts up and elongates his abs, he looks perfect. But when he tries to like punch down a little bit, like like Victor Martinez would like flex his abs and look crazy good. Yeah. Joe can't do that. It does not look good on Joe.
Yeah.
So Joe's got to lift up and stay tall, but we also knew the quad sweep. We had to work on that. So I kind of went over some techniques that I thought was going to work good with him. He bounced some ideas off me. And obviously his quads are up significantly from last year. So even though he's put on muscle everywhere, his quads was the primary focus. And I think we've achieved that goal. So I think I kind of wanted Joe to be on, I figured he'd be around 248, 250 on stage. He's going to be heavier than that. He's probably going to be like that 255, 258 range, if I'm being honest, based on the conditioning that I'm seeing right now in his last check-ins. So the goal, I mean, we know to compete at the Olympia level, he was still going to need a little bit more muscle. And I feel wholeheartedly with my life, we're going to go to the Olympia this year. It's
Mm.
not, it is not going to be like a question of maybe or if. We're going to win a show. It's going to happen. But he's also stayed tighter this year. It's going to make prep a lot easier. The amount of muscle I think he's going to display on stage, and his proportions hasn't gotten worse. His proportions actually look better because he's increased the weak points. So I think you're going to see a completely this year, or sorry, 2025. I think you saw Joe 2.0. You're going to see Joe 3.0 this time.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it because I will be in Tampa.
No, I'll be there too.
I already know I'm going to be there, but I can't. We got to start talking about the Arnold, which is in less than 2 weeks. Arnold Classic. You know, I need to we have to get our predictions in, Jose, because he wasn't there last week. And also you, Justin. I want to get everybody's prediction. I mean, like in particular order. What do you see happening in Columbus this year from 1st through 6th? And I'm going to start with Jose because he had the most time off.
I'm going to say, due to all this shit that Hottie's going through, I think adversity creates diamonds. I think Hottie's going to be incredible. I'm going to go opposite of what everyone else is saying.
You don't even know what we're saying.
No, everyone else in the media is saying that all this.
Oh,
this
you probably go off what we said last week. No. It's going to change.
Yeah, I'll go with Hottie. Andrew.
Hottie in first.
Yeah, Andrew in second.
Andrew.
Nick.
Martin.
Foda.
And
that's 5. You want 6?
That's 5. So I want 6. You're lucky I don't want 10.
Foda. Oh shit. Brandon.
Brandon.
Yeah. Or I could. Yeah.
You got Martin.
He got Martin in 4th.
Oh, he has
so no Raphael and.
Not from.
No. Listen, you got 6. We don't have to. I don't want to confuse you. You.
Raphael's right after Brandon.
So it's in 7th. Then okay. All right. We're only doing the top 6. Milos.
Oh, I thought you're gonna.
I'm gonna give Justin a little bit.
Okay. Well, I always said, and I believe Hadi is gonna win. He keeps proving us all wrong, and he could have won all these shows. And as you said, this adversity is going to make him work under the pressure. And I think it's going to be all-time best to Hadi. You see him bend over rowing 8 plates the other day. I mean, he is as motivated as can be. Second, Andrew Jack, and I always said I love Andrew's physique. If I can have any physique, I would have his. I just think that that height, pound for pound per square inch, Hadi is going to out-muscle him, out-condition him in a sense that there's going to be hashtag bodybuilding going to the Hadi first, Andrew second. I had a Nick third last couple of weeks. I have a Martin third now. I've seen a couple of updates, not really posing, but you could see the thin skin, like really the cellophane kind of thing, legs full, vascular. I know his physique, and I think he's going to just be, too much for Nick as far as proportion, aesthetics, shape. Nick is going to be 4th, looking crazy. I expect him to look crazy. Okay. It's just like you can't outshape these guys as much as you can outmuscle them. You're not going to outshape them. And I think shape is going to matter. 5th, I'm going to go with Brandon Curry. I'm a huge Brandon fan. I think that he could have placed way higher. So that's five. You need six?
Yeah, yeah. If you say the right person now, then you do exactly what I already wrote down for myself.
Okay, another.
Literally.
Yeah, you're a Foda fan, so I'm gonna go with the Foda.
Yo, yeah.
Is this Foda or Fuda?
Foda.
Really? Okay, Fuda.
Yeah, I think it's spelled Foda. Well, who cares? Foda, Foda.
Hey,
Where did you have Raphael?
yeah, I love Rafael. You see, the second physique that I would like to take after the Andrew, it would be Brandon's physique. I mean, Rafael Brandau's physique. I love his physique. He doesn't equate in a mathematical judging
In this
criteria.
lineup.
You know, from the back, he's not this hard, and then he doesn't have enough size for these guys. So I love his physique. If he would be plus 7, 8 pounds, like he said he would be, maybe he would be contender, but God knows, maybe they're gonna nail him and blow him up, and maybe he's gonna be at his all-time best. I know that Dennis wanted him to be higher than top three in that 2024 Arnold. You saw him maybe even bypassing Samson, if you remember when we talked.
I never said that. I said he was in some of the poses, he was holding his own next to Samson.
Okay, so what?
I didn't say that he should have got second and
Okay,
Samson third. I never said that.
you would say maybe almost. You know,
Size wise, I said size wise, he looked like he was, it doesn't really matter. That was 2 years ago.
yeah, right. So anyway, so yeah,
All right.
hey, I love Rafael Brandau's physique. Ugh, I love it. He just, I don't think he has all in place to now make a huge impact.
All right. That will bring us to Justin. Justin,
Oh,
give us your top six and maybe if you can explain just a little bit why.
so I think I'm hoping that all the negativity around Hottie doesn't affect anything, because if it doesn't affect anything, Hottie should be the winner of that show, in my opinion. Andrew is like a bit of a wild card. Even when Andrew's off, he's going to be crazy good. But I do think 100% Andrew could beat Hottie, but we've not seen 100% Andrew. So I can't sit here and give it to him, considering he's never been able to do that. But a 90% Andrew is going to be a solid second. So I'm going to go Hottie, Andrew, and Martin in third. And honestly, that's the order I'm going to call it in. But to be fair, all three of those can be flipped in any order. Like Martin's got the aesthetics and shape, and he's hard as nails, but he's not quite got the density and size of the other two. So take your pick of what you want. It's apples, oranges, and pears at that point. But fourth, I'm going to go Nick, because Nick's got more muscle than probably anyone on the stage. Maybe not the best shape, but we know he'll be in shape. But the only thing about Nick is Nick could be a wild card because he's coaching himself this time, and I don't think Nick's ever coached himself. He may completely knock it out of the park and win the whole damn thing, or he may be out of the first call out. We don't know. But for right now, I've got Nick in fourth, based on what I've seen. Fifth, I'm going to go Brandon. It's just hard to overlook the fact that I wrote Brandon off for like 5 years, and I feel bad about it because of age, right? But he's defied that. Like he's proven me wrong every single time. So I'm not going to get proven wrong again by Brandon.
Right.
So
right.
Brandon's going to be in that top five. And then I think to round out the top six, I'm going to go with Raphael and not Foda in this one. I just think that Raphael Foda can beat, no one's beaten Foda's front lat spread. That front double looks insane as well. But I think when they flip him to the back, I think that's where his legs kind of fade. And I think Raphael will shine from the rear when you compare those two bodybuilders. So
Okay.
I'm going Raphael and sixth on this.
Yeah, I mean, we had
And if
Raphael
Brandon
in the
slips, Raphael could fall fifth if Brandon slips.
Yeah, that's the good thing about bodybuilding. Anything can change.
Brandon's like, I don't get it, man. Brandon's like the guy who's like defied age. Usually when somebody loses the Olympia, and he's like another Dexter in a way, like he loses the Olympia, but yet he's still top 5 10 years later.
I wish Brandon would come at his all-time best this time and literally fight for the title. Nobody expected it.
If
Nobody
Brandon,
expects him to do it.
tell me what you think on this. Is this age or is it a conditioning thing? Because what I see with Brandon, he doesn't really look like he's fat. It's not like he's holding water, but the depth, the cuts in his legs, they don't look as deep as they used to like several years ago. And is that a lack of conditioning on that, or just simply Father Time doing its thing?
I think it's a little lack of conditioning because, when he gets to that point where his legs are separated, his legs look too small.
I got you.
So in order to prevent that, he's got to stay full. So he has to sacrifice a little bit of detail for fullness. And the way he presented himself at the Olympia or at the Arnold last year, I like that package.
Yeah.
Because his legs
I don't disagree.
Yeah. His legs look like they were the biggest they ever been.
They did. They look like they actually grew into his 40s.
So now the Arnold was what, 4 or 5 months ago? Let him work on the detail now. Maybe he can put it all together with his new coach. And maybe he can bring the same size, the same fullness with the separation that he used to have. Then we all would be like, huh?
Who's Brandon working with now?
Who's he working with?
I don't remember.
He's got the new coach. You don't remember you worked with the new guy. I mean, fuck, I don't remember what the name was.
I don't remember. But Justin, I'm going to tell you about those legs and separations. So Brandon won 2019. 2020, 21, he was second, close second to Big Ramy. And obviously, size of the legs of discrepancy. 2022, Brandon came with a huge legs with zero separation, if you remember. And then 2023, he slipped down a little bit, but he was sick and stuff like that. So I like this conditioning at Olympia, no, first at Arnold Classic, then at the Olympia. I mean, he impressed me. He kind of old man muscle, yeah, but separation is coming back, and actually the size was quite good.
Yeah, I thought his legs were just going to continue to get smaller, but they didn't.
He didn't. It actually got a little bit bigger. But 2022, I remember because I was commentating. I mean, his legs was huge, and you could not see a separation from, from an inch away. So he whatever he did just to make them look bigger, because he had that small waist and wide lats and all that stuff. It didn't work for him that year.
He might have been what I would say too full.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can say, speaking with my own physique,
Mm-hmm.
when I overcarb, my upper body will be like, that guy should be Mr. Olympia. But my lower body, it's veiny. Like my legs look like a road mat, but they don't have cuts in them. Front or back, there's no cuts there. And all I need to do is drop 5 to 7 pounds of glycogen, and I'm right back to where I was. So and that's what he's doing, is he's finding that balance of being full enough to not look small, but also lean enough to look detailed, or I guess you say depleted enough to look detailed.
I don't remember what the name was, but he remember when we had him on, he talked about his new coach that he's working with. That was, I think the first show was the Arnold last year.
Is it one of the oxygen guys?
No. That's who he was working with prior to that. Yeah, he was a bit Abdullah. Yeah, but no, he left the Kuwait and then he started working with this guy, with a local guy from the U.S. And they put it together very nice. I think whatever they're doing is working. And now they've been at least together for 2 shows. So I think for this one they probably have a little more data they can work with. And the age definitely is not a factor for him. At this point.
It hasn't affected him yet.
I'm going to mention this if you guys agree or not. Now, that's a former Mr. Olympia. He is a top guy, but he doesn't show that confidence and fighting spirit lately. He goes there also like, okay, I'm a nice guy. I'm going to compete with these guys.
He's always been this way.
Yeah,
always.
That's his personality.
But you have to against guys like.
And I get it. I see what you're saying, but Milos, not everybody has this. Brandon is a laid back. I love him the way he is. He's laid back. I don't even think he can get really mad.
I
Yeah.
don't like to
Just,
say it either.
you know, he's just laid back, and he doesn't do a lot of talking. You know, he doesn't, you know, he just doesn't do it. He's always been this way, even before the Olympia, after the Olympia, you know, and you know who was doing the talking was doing his coach.
Yeah, but he has to switch this before he step on stage. You know, he has to.
Yeah. Well, listen, I mean, if you win the Olympia and then, you know, you play second 2 years in a row, and then all of a sudden you know, you barely make top five, and then you don't make top five, you know, you lose a little bit
Fire.
that confidence, you know, because you know you're past 40s, or is it really over? You know, is it me, or you know, some people? But then again, like I said, he came back at the Arnold, even though he didn't win. You know, I mean, it was really good for him. But these guys are all younger than him now. They caught up with him, and it's going to get harder. You know, it's not going to get easier for him. But I would love to see him nail it, you know, one more time. It would be awesome if he comes in and all of a sudden, wow, look at Brandon. He can win this. He can win this show. Is it going to happen? I kind of doubt it, you know, because Hardy he's there. There's Andrew. But listen, I would love to see it. That would be a nice storyline.
Yeah, for sure. So then it's you. What do you expect from each guy?
I expect Hardy to be. Yeah, I think Hardy has stress every time. He never knows if he gets his visa in time, so he's used to it. I don't think this, you know, just traveling last minute and running here to the gym, not knowing where to train. I don't think that's any issues. I think he's going to come in. He has something to prove. So I think he's going to be at his best. I think Andrew will be at his best. But is he going to be improved in those weak areas like hamstrings, especially from the side? Was that enough time from the Olympia till now? We don't know. So for that, I expect him to be at his best, but I also expect this will be a battle between him and Hardy, and I think Hardy can come out on top. Martin, I have in third this week because I just think, you know, in the same way you saw it, I saw some pictures of Martin. You see, you know, he's bodybuilding. And we talked about it last week, you know, he has no flaws. And if you have no flaws, you have no standouts. And that's why you don't really shine in pictures or videos by yourself. You shine when you stand next to these guys, and you can literally expose some of their weaknesses. So therefore, I think that Martin is going to beat Nick, and then Nick in fourth. And I think Nick and Brandon's going to be neck on neck. Brandon's got the prettier shape. Nick's got the freakier shape. If Brandon is not 100% in shape, Nick's going to beat him. If Brandon is 100% conditioned, you never know. You never know. And then like Foda, I like.
At Olympia, that should have happened. Brandon was on, Nick was
Yeah,
off.
I thought Brandon was better. Yeah, I thought Brandon should have beaten Nick.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
then you put the Foda.
I put Foda in six.
Okay, compare Foda and Raphael.
I think Foda made more improvement,
Yeah.
especially from the back. We always complained about, yeah, he was great from the front, but from the back, not so much. This time, I think his back improved a lot. And that's got to count for something. That's got to count for something.
He's a lot thicker than Raphael.
Go ahead, Jose.
I said he's a lot thicker than Raphael through the pecs, shoulders, arms.
That's what it looks like in pictures now. So we don't know. We have to see them next to each other. But, you know, judging off the pictures, yeah, it looks like Foda make a bigger jump. What do you think, Justin?
The one thing I see that he has a flaw with, and I don't know, this could be a posing issue as well, and that's the only thing I can kind of think of. From the front, he has really good quads, like flare. You know, he's got a small waist and he's got small knees, so it creates the right shape. From the side, like his quarter turns, I give it to him. And then when he turns, and like his side chest and side tricep, his legs look good. But it's like when he does his back double and his rear lat spread, I don't know if it's where he has his hips pushed forward, flexing his glutes, but it makes his hamstrings and legs look shallow from behind. It almost kind of makes his quads look shallow.
Carter, can you look up Mo Foda for us real quick? See if we can see some pictures.
I know what you mean. I think he's leaning back like this.
Yeah, so maybe if he's coming so far back and his legs are forward,
Yeah.
you're seeing that big back jump out at you, and his legs are going forward. It's kind of like when people get the angle game on you when they take a picture.
Yeah.
That could be it too, because I remember seeing him live in person in Tampa. He won at
Okay, now you got the one on the
23 or
right
24.
side, the second row. Oh, no, the back double biceps. That just so we can see the difference from last year to
That's
this year.
much better than what I've seen before of him.
Yeah, that was from last year to this year.
That's much improved from what I've seen.
Yeah,
Actually, from the upper body as well, by far.
exactly. That's why I'm thinking that he's ahead of Raphael because he shows me more improvement.
You can see his pecs from behind.
Actually, my argument kind of goes out the window when I look at this picture.
Yeah.
Just being honest, I'm going to have to retract and pull that statement because he's corrected that issue. Because when I watched him in Tampa, when he would hit that pose, his legs would vanish in the back double bicep, and he still won the show, I think.
And keep in mind that was like 3
Miguel
weeks
Rosen
ago.
won. I'm not sure.
He's
That was like
posing
3
much
weeks ago.
better. See how the right quad is turned out a little bit?
Yep.
Makes a huge difference.
Makes a big difference on that sweep.
Let's see if we can see some other pictures from the front, maybe. Or I like the fact that he's see the difference. I like the fact
from
that
the front, he's smoking everyone that front lat spread.
Well,
I remember-
Raphael is good in that pose. Raphael is good.
Yeah.
Raphael is front lat spread is crazy.
Are there
Yeah.
any more pictures if you scroll? Yeah. Look at the difference. Size. I mean, it's going to be so obvious.
You know, if he actually dials in 100%,
Hey,
I took it back. Like I had him in 7th, but I hadn't seen these pictures. I
it's
literally
too late.
hadn't seen these pictures.
Hey, Justin, I can bring you back next week. We got one more Tuesday where we can
is it?
predict.
Yeah. Yeah, Justin,
this
that's how it
looks
is.
very impressive here.
Yeah, I think so too. Beautiful shape. His shape's going to carry him all the way to the first call out.
Dude, he's got some of the best shape in the IFBB right now.
Yeah. I think he can put his elbows down just a little bit.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, more like the one on the left.
On the left.
He should have his arms down the same way.
Yeah.
It would look even better.
He kind of looks like Justin Rodriguez on the right. Remember Justin Rodriguez with those beaky biceps?
Yeah.
He held his arms up high like that.
And he's another guy who has everything, even the calves. I mean, I remember when I was in Dubai, I was at the protein house and he was in there eating, and I didn't even see him. I saw him from the rear. He had some calves. I was like, "What the fuck is this? Them calves?" It's like this crazy. He has everything. He's
How
not
tall is
tall. He's not tall. He might be, I don't know, 5'7", 5'8", maybe. He's not tall.
Justin Rodriguez?
Well, no.
This
I'm
guy.
talking about Mo. Yeah, he's
Mo.
average. I would say average height for bodybuilding.
Yeah, I would say your top level guys are in that like 5'7" to 5'9" range.
Yeah. Well, with the exceptions of Samson and Andrew.
Yeah.
And Hardy and Derek.
Well, let's give Hardy 5'6.5".
Yeah.
I've never been close enough to him to actually see what his height is. I saw Derek like 2 weeks ago. I'm going to say Derek's like 5'6", 5'6.5".
Yeah. If you judge Hardy's hair, then he'll be 5'7". Yeah. Nice. But yeah, I like Mo for I might, hey, by next week, if we see some more updates, let's see, show something more recent for Mo, Carter. See if you can go up and see, what's that? Where he's bring it down. What is one? Yeah. What is that? Is that? Oh, okay. Let's see what it's doing here.
That's February 10th.
Obviously, this is a work in progress for him, but I do have to applaud him for putting effort into his routines.
Yeah. When this was 16 days ago or something. 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's not it's not the, he's
Doesn't look
really,
quite as hard there.
he's really white. He need color. Yeah. Well, he's working on posing, so
Yeah, but can I just throw that in? I mean, when somebody is doing a posing, you're supposed to do your best 10 poses initially. Impress, impress, impress. Don't do some other shit. There's, okay, that looks nice. That looks smooth. That's flowing. But I mean, what is that for? That leg is way too, the left leg is way too forward. Angles are not good. When he hit the biceps, look at his biceps. It didn't look good. Like,
Well, I guess he
far
doesn't
back.
have
okay, here,
anybody. I
okay,
guess he doesn't have anybody standing right
okay, here,
there
like,
and trying to
yeah,
correct
he
it.
lost his arm. He has this crazy arm. And it didn't show. I mean, they keep forgetting it's not about choreography and routines and ability, to move. It's
Thanks,
about
Carter.
showing the poses, show the body that we want to see. So as much as I like this kind of shit, it didn't look good on him. So why do you waste your time doing something that is, compromised? It's not maximized. That's my message.
No, I
Yeah,
actually agree
you
with you,
had to
especially
throw
when
that
he
in.
comes out of prejudging. He needs to hit like his strong poses to make sure he gets the proper look.
Yeah.
Like if he does any of that at prejudging, that's not good. If he wants to do it for
But
finals,
that's the good thing about the Arnold. There's only 10 guys. There's no way you can get overlooked. There's no possible way you get overlooked.
no.
I don't care what you do. If you come stand backwards and never turn around, you're not going to get overlooked. So that's a good thing. Listen, it's going to be a perfect weekend. I have a feeling,
Yeah.
and I can't wait. Jose, you going? No, you're not.
No, I'm going to be laying in bed taking
Oh,
yeah,
pain.
it's not,
yeah,
yeah, I
it's
forgot. You have,
surgery.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck. When is the
Thank you.
surgery date?
Next Tuesday.
Oh,
Oh,
David,
oh,
Dennis.
so you're not gonna, so you won't even be here on Tuesday.
No, I'll let you know. I'll find out in the next day or two exactly what time.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
Is it
get,
I don't want to be
get out of
nosy.
the
Is it a
hospital.
thing?
Hip replacement. Another one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I knew you had one. So are you doing the other side now?
exactly. 7 years later. But now it's outpatient. I'm in and out in 5 hours.
Yeah.
I remember Roman told me he was walking like the same day he got
Same
his
day. Yeah.
They make you. You stand right up immediately.
I'd be a little afraid, to be honest.
I was
Yeah.
too, but after I had it, I'm like, I can't wait to get this done.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that brings us to the end. Justin, man, I appreciate your time, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you
We'll
guys
have
for
to
having
bring
me
you
on.
back. Maybe
Yeah,
after
absolutely.
the
I would
Arnold.
love to.
Maybe after. Are you coming to Columbus?
I'm not going to be there this year.
You won't be there either. Oh shit. Okay, so
I'm
maybe
going
we
to stay
could.
here where it's warm in Florida.
Maybe we could get you back after the Arnold just to see, talk about the Arnold, to see what you guys saw and what I witnessed from right in front of the stage, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be watching it on the live stream.
Yeah. Yeah. And then live stream is free for everybody. So guys, check it out. Milos, Jose, appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
Peace
Thank you guys.
out.
Have a good day.
All right.
See you guys.
Y'all be safe.